Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, November 17th. Show number 257 coming at you live from the Ron Miller Race Cars Hammer Down Racing Report studio.
Is that where we're
We
at?
did some changes.
Yeah, it's different.
I had an urge this weekend to kind of move things around so I don't have to talk to you like this like I was doing in our old arrangement. So we're working on some studio upgrades, and usually about this time of year, and I've talked to you about this, I'm like, do we want to keep doing this show? It's a lot of work to do, especially during race season. And then I always end up, let's do it, and then reset. And
then here we are.
And then I redo the studio, and we're actually wanting to do a few more upgrades. So if you would like to be a
studio sponsor,
we've set up a Amazon wish list with some studio equipment. They're it's not too expensive, really. So if you want to be a sponsor for 2023 of the Hammer Down Racing Report, there's some things on there for under $20, and then there's some things on there it's a little bit more expensive. So obviously, the more you do, the higher priority we'll give you for a studio sponsor next year. If you spend over $100, we'll put your logo behind it.
If you want to do it anonymously, I suppose that can happen too.
That can happen too. Yeah, not too much. We want to get an overhead camera shot, a little bit of lighting. Need to work on that, but beyond that, there's not too much. Just some fine finishing touches.
Just getting very, very professional, Scott.
We're trying, I mean, we've come a long way since the iHeartRadio studios.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool.
That was a nice setup we had there.
But this works.
And we were the only ones that used the camera setup in there, too.
But this works well, so yeah.
It is working. Also, we're looking for feedback, too, because we're kind of not only revamping the studio, but kind of taking a look at the show, the format of things, and how we do things. So we'd like to get some feedback on that. You can do it anonymously. Just go to hammerdownracingreport.com/feedback. I got a little form there. You can check off the parts of the show you like, check off the parts you don't like, and you can give us some suggestions or comments.
We can change it accordingly.
Yeah. Just looking for a little feedback. We kind of been doing the same format for 5 years now. Well, it's kind of evolved a little bit over 5 years.
257 shows.
Yeah, something like that.
Scott, we started with a half-hour show, and we're lucky to get in an hour now.
Yeah. So, if you could help us out, sometimes you don't have to do it now, but maybe after the show. We'll remind you at the end of the show. Check out hammerdownracingreport.com/feedback, or just go to hammerdownracingreport.com, and under the contacts option, there's a link there that'll take you to the little form. Or you can just send us a message, really. I mean, whatever you want to do. Any feedback is appreciated.
Or call Ron Miller Race Cars.
And you can be critical. We're cool with critical comments, so it's all good. That's how we make things better, right?
Yeah.
Good show for you tonight. Tonight on the show, we're featuring our Attica Raceway Park champions. Cole Macedo will be joining us, as well as Devin Shiels. Cole Macedo, 410 Sprint Car champion this year at Attica Raceway Park. Devin Shiels, his, his fourth overall championship, third straight in the late models, so it'll be interesting.
It's got to be getting boring for him.
It wouldn't be boring for me, but so we'll be talking to them here in just about 5 minutes or so. Contact Freeze Frame Photos for all your racing photo needs, from action shots to victory lane. Now is a great time to order those custom gift items for your sponsors. I wonder if Charlie's got any Black Friday specials.
Well,
everybody's got early Black Friday specials.
Yeah.
And now he's going to feel pressured
we're stuck.
to have to do it. Call Charlie, 419-476-9978. He can get you calendars, custom items with photos he's taken, and he's got photos. Whatever you want, they can do it pretty much. Great gifts for racing fans and racers in your family. Call Charlie, 419-476-9978. Freeze Frame Photos, special moments frozen in time. Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race. The awards banquet's coming up on Saturday. That's, 2 weeks from this Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, December 3rd in the Junior Fair building at the Fulton County Fairgrounds. The cost is $30 a ticket. Info on how you can get a ticket is posted at oakshaderaceway.com. No tickets will be sold at the door or after the 25th of November.
Which isn't that far away.
What is that? It's like a week from Friday, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So get that. Drivers must be present to receive their awards. I saw they posted some of the lists of the awards on their Facebook page.
I saw that.
So,
my name wasn't on the perfect attendance
no,
list.
did a little tear form in your eye?
First time in about 1,000,000 years.
How many years has it been?
37, I think. Yeah.
What about next year? Are you going to be back on the perfect attendance?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Check out Dominator Race Products for hood scoops, fan shrouds, nose and tail pieces, pillar and sail panels, roofs, wheel covers, and much more. They're now offering aluminum powder-coated wheel covers in 3 styles. In 7 different colors. DominatorRaceProducts.com is where you can find those, or call 419-923-6970. Dominator Race Products also available from reputable dealers across the USA, such as Ron Miller Race Cars. I also have to mention Big D's Pizza.
Good people.
Yeah.
With good food.
We'll be giving away some Big D's a little bit later and talking more about them. Ron Miller Race Cars and Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon. Couple racing events, actually a few from this past weekend. Got some interesting racing news. A lot of series have come out with their schedules this year. The World of Outlaws has a new fire suppression rule. We'll be talking about that a little bit later as well.
World of Outlaws for sprint cars.
Sprints, yes. Yeah. Duel in the Desert at the dirt track in Las Vegas Motor Speedway this past weekend. Actually, last Thursday, Shane Clanton picked up $20,000 for the win. Friday night was Jonathan Davenport, who he's in desperate need of another $20,000 himself.
Yeah, he's had a tough season.
Yeah. And Bobby Pierce picked up the main event win Saturday night, $40,000 for him. So congratulations to him. Castro Flow Racing Night in America Peach State Classic at Sonoya Raceway. Pretty cool deal there. They made an effort to get that in, despite
really worked on
the
that.
tropical storm, whatever it was, that moved up last weekend.
Brought in a helicopter to drive the track.
Put tarps down, and
that was impressive.
Yeah, track wasn't the greatest, but I mean, for what it could have been.
Hey, you've got to give the folks credit for
Absolutely.
making that big of an effort.
Kyle Bronson picked up the win on Friday night, and Saturday night, Ricky Thornton Jr. led all 75 laps caution-free.
Lapping up
it was
to
kind of
6th place.
It was a boring race.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ricky Thornton Jr., it was a boring race, but he pocketed $53,000 and $53. So, and Brandon Shepard was crowned the Castro Flow Racing Night in America Series Championship, which I didn't realize they had that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had the little point championship series there. So, also Tuesday night, trying to read my chicken scratches here.
Okay.
The USAC Midgets November Classic at Bakersfield was in action. Thomas Meserol picking up the win there.
Okay.
Little open wheel action. Not much else happening. So let's get
Brittany Force won the nationals. So that was big news for her.
Deal.
Yeah. I see that my sister posted on there from snowy Erie, Pennsylvania. Barb, how much snow are you getting? And is it going to be as much as they're getting in Buffalo? I guess they're looking at 4 feet of snow for this week's football game.
Yeah, no, they moved the game. They announced about an hour ago. The Browns and Bills are now going to be playing in Detroit on Sunday.
In Detroit.
Yeah, and then the Bills I believe are probably going to stay in Detroit because they play the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Right.
So they'll be playing 2 games back to back in Ford Field.
Almost home field advantage.
Maybe. No. Anyways, not a football podcast. Let's ring up Cole Macedo here, and at the same time, we'll bring in Mr. Devin Shiels, who's waiting in the wings. There's Devin.
Hello?
And there's Cole. Cole Macedo. It's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, Devin Shiels with us as well. It's a Hammer Down Race Report. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Oh, wonderful.
And Devin, congratulations to you and Cole, 2022. I forgot what year it is. 2022 track champions.
Thank you.
So
yeah, thanks.
We'll start with Cole real quick here. I have a question unrelated to the Attica Track Championship here. I wanted to ask you what happened in that dash race at the World Finals where you made kind of a move there and ended up flipping and catching your brother? What
Yeah.
happened there?
Yeah, so I just kind of ran it in there, and the night before I got caught, not protecting far enough when someone was going to slide me, so kind of ran it in there and probably gave a little bit too much effort to say, and I just got caught in the center, and I was coming at the fence way too fast. I went in there wide open and just pitched it sideways and hope for the best, and it ended up being the worst. So collected my brother, and it was just no good at all. I put a lot of guys in a bad spot and wrecked my car, and it was no good. But part of it, I guess, and that's racing. But we had a lot of speed there, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened. I was watching, and it looked like your throttle hung open or something. You just dove to the inside and just flew up to the wall. I was like, "Holy cow!" But,
yeah.
Was your brother pissed?
Yeah, is Thanksgiving dinner going to be okay?
Nah, he wasn't pissed. I like I said there at Charlotte, me and him feed off each other a lot, and I look for him in a lot of my questions and what to do on the track, and I came over and I'm like, man, I'm sorry. And he's like, dude, don't be sorry. Like, you're out there giving 110% for the lead in the dash. Like, that's what car owners want, So, he was all good about it.
How was that driving for Alex Bowman?
Oh, it was cool. Yeah, I've got to do it, 6 or 7 times now. It's definitely, pretty cool to be racing for, Alex and, him being in NASCAR and kind of the spotlight being on you a little bit, and a lot more fans are coming up because of it. And, working with Joe Gertie and Jeremy, it's always a good time going and racing for them guys.
Much better equipment than what you ran all summer?
I wouldn't say better equipment. I've been very fortunate to drive, really good race cars, and wherever I've been with it, with 18, I ran the 14 at Knoxville, and ran the Charleston car race, and all the guys that I've raced for here in the last couple of years have given me, winning equipment. So, it's just a little bit of different atmosphere, different guys, and different ways they do stuff. Joe's really smart at Charlotte, and he gave me a really good car. But, it's just like I said, it's just different people, different, everything's a little bit different.
Let's talk about the championship season that you guys have had at Attica. And Devin, I'm gonna start with you here. This is your 3rd straight late model championship, 4th overall, 5 wins this season, and your 15 career wins, which puts you 5th in late model wins at Attica. And your average finishing position was 2nd this year. I mean, could you have had a better year other than that last night, which we'll get to?
Yeah, we could have improved on it, had more wins. That'd be nice, but to be in the hunt for a win every night, that was pretty good. For some reason, we just hit on a good setup, and the track was kind of right up my alley. It was kind of slick, but had a little bit of grip. And I actually ran the cushion most of the year, which usually I'm right on the bottom, dry slick. That's usually when I win my races. But this year the cushion it built up, and then the sprint cars would knock it off in the feature, and it'd have it at the exit of 4, but wouldn't have it at the entrance of 3. And that kind of played to my favor and helped me out a little bit because I drive a little straighter in the corner on entry. So I think that kind of helped me propel, and qualifying 4th doesn't hurt. It seems like every week we qualified 4th, put us up on front of a heat race, and getting the redraw, that helps.
So how much would you attribute the that second place average finish to skill, and how much would you attribute it to just luck?
I wish I could say it was skill, but it's having a car that doesn't break. It's we do a lot of work in the shop to make sure nothing falls off. It's a little bit of luck here and there, but there's a couple times I pushed it a little too close to the wall and a little bit too aggressive, and it could have went either way. Either could have went south and ended that 2-place finish.
Breakaway spoilers. They're the racer's friend.
Yep. I know it was me and Vissler was real close. One race, the heat race was hammered down, and I think we split Bellman, and I don't know how we both made it through and without touching each other.
Now, Cole, you had 3 wins this year. You had 5 career wins at Attica. You're also the Attica Fremont Championship Series champion this year. Any of the 3 wins that you had this year stand out above any of the other 2?
Yeah, the first one at the beginning of the year here with Jordan Ryan led most of the race, and we actually started like 8th, and we had a restart with 1 to go, and I kind of just sent it as hard as I could, and Jordan kind of missed the bottom, and I come to find out, I think he had a little bit of a fuel pickup problem or something like that. But we were able to sneak by him off 4, and that was my first, last lap pass for a win. So I feel like the place kind of erupted, and it was probably one of my coolest wins for sure. And it's just that I would say that would have to be the one. But man, it's just Attica. We had a really fast car all year long, and my guys always do a really good job there. Mike and Steven, they grew up racing there, and so they have a really good grasp on what the car needs and what I need. And it's just Attica was a lot different this year. It got a lot slicker, and the curb got like you said, the curb blew off, and you had to do different stuff to your car to kind of be able to sweep through the middle, and then when the curb was there, the curb was massive, and your car had to be really good to not get tied in the curb off 4 there or off 2, and the track was super dirty a lot of the year. And it made it really tough for us. And Steven, he worked really hard all year long to make our car good with, any track condition. But, it was a tough year, but, like I said, my guys did a really good year did a really good job, and made my car the best it could. And we probably should have won a lot more races than we did. I think I ran second, 4 or 5 times, but, Attica was just tough this year. There was there's always a lot of good talent there, and guys driving in on Fridays, just because there's not a whole lot of other places to race on a Friday night, in Ohio or Indiana or anything like that. So Attica brings in a lot of good talent, and to win at Attica is really tough.
Now, Devin mentioned that he prefers running the bottom groove, but found himself running high and bouncing off the cushion there. Do you have a preference running low or high?
Yeah, I actually, you wouldn't believe it watching the Charlotte race the other night, but I don't like running the bottom. I'm not a fan, especially at Attica. It's really tough at Attica because they got those tractor tires sticking way out there, and I feel like every time I run the bottom, I get myself more in trouble than not. Trey Jacobs makes it look really easy. He'll come from 20th to the lead or 20th to second all the time, running right around the tractor tires. But I've always been the kind of guy that likes to, run the car as hard as I possibly can. And, the majority of the time, that's up there running the curb, and it's a lot more fun. But like I said, Attica was just a lot different this year. There was a lot of times that running the curb was not, you could go up there and make 2 laps work, but laps 3, 4, and 5 were, you'd miss it and get bound up and almost hit the fence or blow it off the edge. And it was a lot tougher.
I was a few of the races I was able to catch. Was it Dirt Vision that covers Attica? I was able to watch a few of the races, and it looked like, I don't remember if it was as much of a problem for the sprint cars as it was the late models, but coming off of 2 on the high side, if it seemed like a lot of them were going to
easy to go.
It was
over
a very
the
fine
edge.
line. Yeah, a lot of cars were going over the edge. Both you guys, we'll start with Devin. Talk about the exit of turn 2 on the high side at Attica.
Usually we get the track after the 410s, so they've pretty much cleaned her off for us. So it's there's no real lip up there coming out 2 like there is in 4, and it kind of sucks you in once you're past the exit, and there's a crown of the track. The top of the track has a little bit of a fall once you get to the outside, and it's a fine line of going over it or staying on the track. And usually you can recover and come back on, but yeah, it's not the fastest way when you slide off the top.
What about you, Cole? Did you have any issues coming off of 2 this year?
Yeah. So what a lot of people don't realize, that, the Linder family, like I said, they've been racing there for their whole lives. And one of the first times I ever came there, they told me, hey, you see that American flag in the infield, you always got to pay attention to that, especially in qualifying and stuff like that. Attica is out, kind of out in the middle of nowhere almost. And there's not very many trees and there's not very many things surrounding it. So it's kind of out on its own. And, man, it gets really windy there. Like the majority of the nights that we race there, there's a good 10 to anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour of wind. And the majority of the time it's blowing from the front stretch to the back stretch. And, I think a lot of drivers that come there and don't race there very often, they get caught, not paying attention to that, or they don't know, they think their car's bad or they're making bad laps. But man, I've learned that, when the wind's like that, you got to really cheat the exit of your corner and really make sure to be lower off exit than you would if there's no wind, because if you're right there on the edge, I think that's the reason that, the cushion gets blown over the edge so often, is because the wind's blowing our cars. And I don't know if it happens as much for a late model. I've never driven one, but, the sprint cars, we got that gigantic wing on top of our car. And when the wind's hitting that thing, it pushes the car and puts it in weird positions that you've never been in before. And it just blows you right off the edge. So I always pay really close attention to that flag, under cautions or, right before qualifying, I'll ask my guys, hey, where's the wind? Where's the wind blowing? Is it blowing towards 1 and 2, or is it blowing towards 3 and 4? Is it blowing at the backstretch? Where's it going? And it kind of helps me decide how I'm going to enter the corner and how I'm going to exit the corner. But yeah, like there was one night with the Outlaws, they're in qualifying, like 10 to 12 cars, the wind that night was blowing from turn 2 to turn 3. And, we got, like I said, we got that big wing and we're coming down the back stretch, and usually you can, in qualifying, you kind of blow it in there wide open and we're going wide open and our normal pace. Well, when you got 20 miles an hour of wind behind you and picking up the rear of the car, you get caught not being ready for that. And like 10 to 12 cars, including me, including one of them, blew it right off the edge entering 3. Like we didn't make the corner. And, I just think that you're coming at the corner way faster than you're expecting and you're not ready for it. And yeah, I think that Attica is, like I said, the track changes all the time. And I think that wind is a big reason for that. Your car does weird stuff that you've never, seen before. And then you come in and you tell your guys that you're tight, but you're not really tight, because the next time you go out there, the wind could not be as heavy. And and now you're in, no man's land with your setup, and then you come in and you're like, well, whatever you did, it made it worse, and it was supposed to fix it, So I don't know if Devin agrees with me or not on that. But.
Well, Devin, the late models use the air a whole lot different than the sprint cars do. Does it seem to affect you the same way?
Not as bad, because ours is more dependent on the wind holding the front end down more than the back.
Right.
But it does move you around, and that Attica does a great job at track prep. I mean, there's probably no one better. They were kind of dealing with some crappy dirt that they all this year, and it was real dirty and dusty. That was the biggest thing that affected us, is the rooster tails coming off of the cars in front of you was hitting you right in the face, and it would kind of kick you left or right, and I think the side air on our cars do more than anything. Getting behind a car sucks the air off the nose, kind of
sure.
Getting beside a car, the air off their spoiler affects how your car handles, and you kind of just got to power through those incidences.
Who would have thought that aero dependent would be a major player in dirt late model racing?
So you don't look at the flags, the flagpole then?
Nobody will now.
I will now, yeah. No, I'm more worried about getting my helmet on straight and making sure the car runs. And we got four or five springs on it that are set, ready to go. We're constantly pulling springs off the car and smashing them now, and that's a big change in late models is spring smashers at the track. You can fine tune yourself out of a good setup, or you can hit a home run.
So what happened to you had some motor issues the final night? What happened there?
Yeah, I fired the car up here at the shop had been Thursday night, loaded it, and then we got to the racetrack, started it up. We've got a priming system that primes the oil, so did all that. Fired it up. It ran fine. Got heat in it, shut it off, and then we started it again to go out for hot laps and time trials, and just could hear a heck of a miss, and pulled the valve cover off, and the rocker arm, the keeper holds the push rod in place, was all chewed up, and the top of the push rod was smashed, and we probably could have got it pieced together if we would have tore the whole trailer apart looking for the parts. But when you're in that dirty of a condition, and it wasn't worth us wrecking a motor for one night. And Attica's got some kind of mulligan, or they gave 2 mulligans. As long as you don't race at a track other than Attica that night, you get a certain amount of points. And we were weighing the option of taking one of those, or they were going to make us take a green flag. And we could have took the green flag, but it wasn't worth it.
So that mulligan then, that didn't. That's how you maintain that second place finish average.
No, we basically just said we didn't show up, and they gave us our mulligan points, and that was enough to keep us in the lead. And that was Attica's real tight on their points. They added that because of all the engine troubles. You can't get parts for engines right now.
Right.
We had to send our main motor that we ran last year down to Clements just because they can get parts. That's the only reason. And then the other motor is down at Chuck Nooning's, all tore down. We think we got all the parts, and we even had to call Clements to get parts from him just to have parts to put it back together.
So this was your 4th overall championship at Attica. You got quite a few at Oakshade recently as well. How does this year's championship stack up to your other championships?
This one was a little more fun. We didn't have as much work on the car. We actually ran the body all year long. Didn't change a panel except for the quarter panel when it got up into the cushion a little too hard one night towards the end of the year. And it was just not as stressful. It was more of an enjoyment than previous ones were real close, and they were fighting tooth and nail, and it came down to the last race of the year, last lap. That's when it gets stressful, and it's fun, but this year was just a little bit easier.
We'll start with Cole. Cole, do you have any plans for off-season racing?
Yeah, I'm actually, I got to race here in California a couple times, and you talked about already. I went to Charlotte and raced there for that weekend, and I'm going to race next Tuesday at a little track called Merced here in California, and then I leave December 21st for Australia. I'm going to run about 10 to 13 shows for a guy I met through Sean Dyson. And his name's Mark House, and go over there and spend some time with his family and race, like I said, 10, 13 times, and, depending on if we get rained out or not. But, it should be a lot of fun. I've never been to Australia, so it'll be a little bit of a different atmosphere, and be able to race against my brother and all the other Australian guys that I don't get to race with, on a weekly basis. So I'm really excited for that. And, like I said, it's a little different. So it'll be good to have a little bit of an atmosphere change, and it should be a lot of fun.
I assume that'll be all on the East Coast in the Sydney area?
Yep, around Sydney. And I'm not 100% sure on the tracks, but I know Brisbane is one of them. And,
yep.
But yeah, there's a few different tracks that I've never really even seen other than on videos of watching my brother the last couple of years. But it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Ron's raced down in Australia. He's pretty excited about.
Yeah, we've
all things Australia.
I've done 4 tours there, and got some great friends down under. They come up here during the summer. The COVID mess sure screwed that up, but they'll be back this summer, and I'm about up for another tour down there myself.
There you go. Maybe you can catch a ride with Cole.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Cole, you'll love the flight.
Yeah. I've heard it's 15 hours, so that's going to be a long time sitting in a chair.
Yeah, well, fly from here, because that adds 4 hours to your 15.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Devin? Any plans during the off season for you?
Nope. I've got 2 motors that are being rebuilt, and we've got one car finished, just waiting on an engine, and my son's going to take over my car I ran this year, and we're putting a new body on that, changing colors, and gonna wait for the motor on that one, and he's gonna take his turn on this summer and do a couple races.
I remember talking about that earlier. Now, is that going to be with an open motor or?
Yeah, we've only got the 2 motors.
Okay.
He's gonna have identical 11-degree standard bore. We actually bought a set of heads this year to put on our 13-degree. So I've got what I like on the 11-degree motor, and so now we just duplicated it as close as we could get, and we like to put a third motor together, but with parts, there's no way you're going to be able to do it.
I understand that.
So is that he's going to be running a late model then?
Yeah, yep. I think he's just going to do oak shade here and there. We just have the one trailer that'll fit one car, so I've got another trailer that's kind of our snowmobile trailer I can fit a race car in, and we're going to pull it down with my truck, and then I'm going to try getting him on the track at Attica in my car after the races some night, just to get him a couple laps to get warmed up, and we're kind of throwing him to the wolves.
You might talk to the folks at that track down south of here a ways. I understand they do some testing once in a while.
Yeah, I heard there's some pile of dirt you'd have to go around right now. Somebody said there's some new clay there.
The one, no, I'm talking about.
I think he's talking to one that's got some weeds growing in the middle of it right now.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep him under the half mile. I like 3/8 or less for him.
Yeah, okay.
He's a newbie, and he's gonna get some experience this year. We're gonna try just put him in the back, just start off slow. And he's drove the car once at a practice at Oakshade. And but you're on a dry, slick track, and you're just basically making laps to get used to the car.
So what about you? Are you going to defend your championship at Attica, go for one at Oakshade, or what are your plans?
Our plans, I'd like to run Attica every week. I just enjoy running it. We're going to, if it's close, there might be a couple nights we have 2 cars there if he gets good at it. And then Oakshade is just going to be have fun, and I don't know if we're going to run points for that, but we'd like to do a little more summer national races. The pay for those kind of make it worthwhile going, and we went to Montpelier this year and had a good outing, and it's nice when you can pay for the fuel for the hauler to get there and back. It's always a bonus.
Aren't there some benefits to running the majority of the summer national races? Financial benefits?
Yeah, we don't have a toter, so it's hard to do the out Illinois area. When they get Wisconsin and that's kind of pushing the limit of what we've got. And if we had a toter, we could spend the night places and do farther weight races. But you're putting more fuel in the hauler. Your cost and expense just go up, and the closer to home you can race, the more money you can save.
I heard the guys with the 44 car have got a hauler for sale.
Yeah, I'm not looking to buy one. That's it. I think we're going to be spending some more money than we normally do, because usually I'm pretty good with the equipment on keeping it. Besides that motor issue, I try to keep the body on it all year long, and try not to be too aggressive on the tires, and try to save as much money. It was usually the infield tractor tires that always got me, and we've kind of.
Well, if you run the high side like you had this year, there you go.
Not one bumper. We didn't go through one bumper this year. Usually I'm about a five bumper car. I usually take it out and I can still finish the race, but it's dragging the ground.
Cole, let's talk about the fire suppression systems that you guys are going to have to run.
With the World of Outlaws.
Yeah. I think that's going to translate to virtually all the sprint car races.
Is it?
Yeah. So I raced for Blaine Steele and the Steele family when I came home to California, and he actually caught on fire about 2 months ago at a Hanford show, a 360 show, and shortly after that, this fire suppression system has been being talked about. And, the people that make one of the brands sent the Steele family a suppression system for free, and sponsored them and asked them to put it on their car and try it out. And I actually got to run it the other night, and I was kind of worried about it just being heavier, and we spend a lot of money to make our cars as light as possible, and this thing barely weighs anything, and it's super easy to mount. I ran it the other night, and honestly, I felt a lot more comfortable, having that with me. I seen his fire, and it really scared me. And, it's probably one of my first, my only fears driving a race car is catching on fire. Wrecking is something that, we all know about, it's going to happen at some point, but catching on fire is something that's, hard to stop. And I've seen it happen multiple times, and it could be as easy as someone leaving just one little line loose and soaking you in fuel. And if you catch fire, it's really, you can put the fire out, but the burns are really easy to not, be able to stop. And, when you're soaked in fuel like that, the fire can be put out, but the burns still keep happening. So, this new suppression system that Blaine has on his car, it uses a gas to say that just it's clear, you wouldn't even see it,
right.
But it just sucks all the oxygen out of the fire and puts it out almost instantly. So yeah, I think it's a great thing for the sport. I think it's moving in the right direction, safety wise, and I'm a big supporter on it, and I'm glad that it's happening. As a driver, to keep us safe and not be burnt up, and like I said, it's one of my worst fears. So, yeah, I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah, a freak fire, a freak incident burned a good friend of ours, Jimmy McCune, at Butler Speedway this last summer. As a matter of fact, he was at the shop just today, and he's finally getting around better. His right foot is still kind of a mess. He walks funny, but he'll be back racing. But we were talking about those fire systems. Dean Henry asked how much they weigh. It's my understanding, Dean, that they weigh right around 8 pounds.
I thought it was 5 pounds or something.
Well, it's a 5-pound system plus the bottle
Okay.
and a couple of brackets. So yeah, it's right.
So it doesn't add that much.
It's
You
right
just have
in
to
the
go on
8-pound
a
range.
diet, Cole. Lose 8 pounds and you'll offset.
Yeah.
You can stack
Yeah.
a whole lot more mud on a car than 8
There
pounds.
is true.
Just
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
they're angled away from your face, because taking the oxygen away is kind of scary when it's spraying you in the face. I had one go off in our car when I was working on it, and it ran us right out of the shop. It takes your breath away, and you gotta bail out and get out of there as fast as possible.
Yep.
Hey, Cole, are we going to see you back in this area next year, or what do you have planned for 2023?
Yeah. The plans for 2023 is just to be back with the Linder family and Ray Brooks, and race as much as we can.
I'll bet that excites the rest of the racers at Attica.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, were you running for the championship at Fremont as well? I saw you finished fourth there, and it looks like you missed a few of the shows toward the end of the season.
Yeah, I was actually leading the points by like 70 points there, and I was expecting to be able to run Knoxville and still be able to keep my points battle going, and they made that fast show during the Knoxville Nationals a full points race for Fremont points, and so I already had made commitments to go run Knoxville for the Deech Motorsports 14 car, and I kind of just had to forfeit my championship. And we got so far behind points by missing that show that we decided to go race some other big paying shows, and so I ended up missing 3 or 4 shows, but still was able to finish third, which I was happy about. But so it just didn't work out. But I think if we would have stuck with it and ran all the points races, I think that we might have been able to get all 3, which I'd have been pretty proud of.
So you're thinking about the double dip for next year?
Triple dip with the Attica Fremont Championship Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. As of now, we're not planning on racing anything, being locked down to any points. Kind of just race here, there, and everywhere. But, anything can change, and so I'm not really sure yet. But, yeah.
Couple questions before we let you guys go here, and this is going to be for both of you, but we'll start with you, Cole. Who's your favorite late model driver?
Late model driver. Probably, man, I don't know. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to late model guys.
Doesn't have to be a local guy. I mean, it could be Scott
Yeah.
Bloomquist if you were.
Yeah, I would have to say Scott Bloomquist. I've always heard a lot about him, and he seems like he's a little bit crazy. And
You obviously heard his interview a week ago.
Yeah, he kind of hangs it out there and just goes for the win all the time. I'd probably say Scott.
Okay, Devin, who's your favorite sprint car driver?
I'm gonna go with Rico.
Okay.
Rico, that's a good one.
Yeah, well,
Fan favorite.
What about the possibility that he tested in a late model?
That's the other reason. We're bringing him over to the dark side.
That leads me to the next question, and Devin, we'll start with you. If we put you, Devin, in a sprint car, and Cole's in a late model, and he said he's never been in a late model. And Devin, have you been in a sprint car?
No.
Okay, so good. So neither one of you have had experience in the other class. Who would win a 2-lap race between you and Cole?
If I'm in a sprint car?
Yeah.
You're in a sprint car. He's in a late model.
Well, I'm going to go with the sprint car.
So you're going to win.
Yeah, if I can figure out how to get it in gear and all that stuff. Yeah, the sprint car seems to be. They got that giant wing up on top, and they're a lot lighter than the sprint car.
You got to watch the flag, though.
Yeah, I'll probably end up on my lid anyways, no matter what. So the late model probably would win.
Cole, who do you think would win?
In a sprint car?
You're in a late model. Devin's in a sprint car. You got a 2-lap race at Attica. Who's going to win?
You're in Devin's car because we know it's a proven winner, and Devin's in your car because we know it's a proven winner. Who wins?
Yeah, I would have to say that the sprint car would probably win because I don't have no idea how to drive a late model, but I know that they look a lot harder to drive than a sprint car. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that it's tough to do what we do in a sprint car, but man, I see them. I've seen a lot of sprint car guys try to go run a late model and seen them really struggle to back up their corner and get the thing pitched like it's supposed to be. And I've been taught my whole life to drive as straight as possible. And I think that the sprint car would probably be a lot easier to get a hold of.
Okay, I have a prediction. I think they're both going to stall, and they'll make it to turn one, and that'll be the end of the race.
So Cole, what do you think about Rico testing in a late model, in a quality late model, or have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about that, but I think if he does race the late model, I think that he'd be good. I think that Rico's got a lot of talent, and I think that he could drive pretty much anything he'd want to drive.
Any desire yourself to ever run a late model?
Yeah, I would love to. I actually talked to my guys about it there at the end of the season, and I watched these guys at Devin and all of them at Attica, and man, they're sailing that thing around the top, and I wouldn't probably want to go run a Roll of Outlaw late model race, but I would love to race a local Attica show. I think that it'd be a lot of fun and be something different for me. So, I would love to do something like that.
Devin, if the Linders came to you, Cole had to go somewhere else for a weekend, and they asked you to run their sprint car, would you do it?
Probably not. My wife would probably kill me if I did. There's a lot of risk with those things.
Okay,
but
there's risk in all racing.
Sometimes
I'll stick to my roof and roll cage and big wide body.
Okay. Well, guys, congratulations on your championship seasons, and we appreciate the time you guys coming on tonight.
We need to ask them if they've got anybody to thank, Scott.
Okay, we can do that too. I just want to say good luck to Cole racing down in Australia. When are you leaving for Australia? When does that start?
December 21st.
21st. Okay, so a little over a month.
You'll be in Sydney for New Year's Eve. That'll be impressive.
Yeah, I think I'll be in Tasmania for Christmas, and then I should be in Sydney by New Year's, and the whole month of January I'll be racing all around there.
That'll be memorable, trust me.
Devin, any sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
The Magic Fountain Auto Wash is our family business, and they help out a lot. And then Rally's Hamburgers, Dirt Nerds Podcast, Salbeam Excavation and Trucking. They're coming on board for this next year for my son and my car. So that helps out. And then Banshee Graphics does an awesome job decaling the cars. My daughter's sitting here pointing at herself. So Peyton, she goes to a lot of races now. She's getting older, and all my crew guys that help out, Jason, Dylan, Denny, Wenzel, my dad, Darren, my wife for letting me do that. She complains I never thank her on interviews and stuff. And pretty much them and my kids always give up all their time of me not being home or me being in the shop. And I appreciate it. And
It's probably okay to mention your wife's name. She might like that.
Tracy, my wife.
There you go.
I can't even guess how many years we've been married. So that shows how good I'm at marriage.
What about you, Cole? Anybody you want to thank for helping you out this past season?
Yeah, just the whole entire Linder family and crew that on my car, and Ray Brooks and Holly, and there's a lot of great people that took a shot on me, and a young kid from California, and made it happen, and I'm super thankful for that.
Awesome. Well, again, good luck to you guys in the future. Good luck next year to you and your son, Devin, and to you as well, Cole.
Thank you.
It's been great talking with you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks, Devin. Thanks,
Yep.
Cole.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
See ya.
There you go. Wait, where did you go, Ron? You disappeared.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
You got to push the right buttons, Scott.
There we go. We're flipped right now. Cole Macedo, Devin Shiels, your champions, 410s and late models.
A lot of wins
Attica.
between those two guys.
Just a few, yeah.
If
Devin Shiels is fifth all time in late model wins.
Right. If you consider, the tracks that they've run this summer, pretty impressive.
Indeed. I got to thank Big D's Pizza, subs, ribs, chicken, and more in Clyde, Ohio. Give them a call right now, 419-547-1444. You can order online at orderbigdspizza.com. Right now, you can get 10 jumbo chicken wings with your choice of sauce. Only $8.99. That's Wednesday through Sunday Facebook special. Big D's in Clyde. Big on taste, not on price. Also hiring drivers and kitchen help.
Dean Henry says that Devin Moran looked very good in a sprint car. So,
And he's still racing a late model.
yep.
It'd be interesting seeing Rico racing competitively in a late model.
I'm telling you.
I'd like to see Rico and Kyle Larson racing together.
Oh, boy.
I have a feeling Larson might win. He tends to do that. Ron Miller Race Cars in Lambertville. Give Ron a call for race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, broken weld fixing, seals for rear ends.
Yeah. Instructions on how to install the seats and rear ends.
Advice, 734-856-7223. That's 856-RACE, Ron Miller Race Cars. Got some racing news to get to here before we do how many and give away some Big D's Pizza. After 37 years in the seat of a race car dirt, late model Hall of Famer Jimmy Mars has announced his retirement. Mars, who started racing in 1985 locally in a street stock at the age of 13, exploded onto the dirt late model scene with his USA Nationals victory in 1996 at Cedar Lake Speedway in 97. He had his thrilling $100,000 triumph in the dirt late model dream at Eldora. From there, Mars went on to star in the Have a Tampa Racing Series, where he racked up 12 career series victories and finished as high as second in the point standings, and that was in 2004. With Mars' retirement announcement, Dustin Sorensen will be behind the wheel of the yellow number 28 at the Wild West Shootout at Vado Speedway Park in Vado, New Mexico. World of Outlaws Case Construction Late Model Series have released its 2023 schedule last Thursday. More than $3 million in purse money will be spread through a 53-race schedule at 30 different tracks, including 6 events with a weekend purse of more than $200,000, 2 boasting more than $250,000. Entering a new era for the series, 11 new tracks have been added to the tour. The series visits Ohio 5 times. Sharon Speedway, May 25th through the 27th. That counts as 3. And Atomic Speedway on September 29th and 30th.
Two tracks, 5 times.
There you go.
Okay.
Added to the tour this year, or next year, is 401 Speedway, I-75 Raceway in Tennessee. Talladega Short Track in Alabama, Paducah International Raceway, Ponderosa Speedway in Kentucky, State Line Speedway in New York, Off-Road Speedway in Norfolk, Nebraska, Mason City Motor Speedway, 34 Raceway in Iowa, Brownstown Speedway in Indiana, and Red River Valley Speedway in North Dakota.
I didn't hear anything about our neighbors to the north. Nothing in Michigan, huh?
Not that I know of. I didn't look at the schedule, and
okay.
Our associate producer Dave Kemmer provided this data. So
he'll probably tell us.
I had no internet this week, so I was kind of reliant on him. Yeah, my internet went out. I wasn't sure we were going to be doing the show from here until about 10 o'clock last night when the internet finally started working. So, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series schedule was also released last Friday. The tour will bring 56 events to 32 tracks across 16 states from January to October, including 13 events during the Georgia-Florida Speed Weeks. The series visits Ohio 5 times, Atomic Speedway on March 17th, Muskegon County Speedway on June 30th and July 1st. The season concludes at the new home of the Dirt Track World Championship. It's going to be at Eldora.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool. That'll be on October 20th. So that could, 20th and 21st, actually. Weather could be interesting.
Could play a factor.
It could be great, but it could not be great. That late in October. We'll see how it works out. Hopefully it will be fine. Hopefully we'll have the Ryan Weekman weekend weather pit stop for that event next year.
Yeah.
Series will make its inaugural visit to Georgetown Speedway in Delaware, Farmer City Raceway, and Fairbury Speedway in Illinois.
Dave Kemmer says nothing in Michigan.
They've run Butler, haven't they? World of Outlaws? Long time ago.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm thinking of the sprints. Might have been the sprint
Yeah.
cars. Arca Menard Series will again race 20 times at 19 tracks in 2023, kicking off its 70th anniversary season with its 60th race at Daytona International Speedway and concluding with its championship event at its home track, Toledo Speedway. Once again, that'll be October 7th. Series will compete on one of the most diverse lineups of racetracks in motorsports, including super speedways, intermediate speedways, paved short tracks, a pair of road courses, and a pair of 1-mile dirt tracks. That's always Ron's favorite.
Springfield and DuQuoin.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Ryan Unzicker gets a ride for those this year.
Or if maybe he bought the car that they...
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll have to get a hold of him. Gene Haas said last month that he and Tony Stewart, that is, disagreed over the direction of the number 41 Ford in the Cup Series, with Stewart wanting to promote Ryan Preece, that is, but Haas preferred to keep Cole Custer for a 4th season in that seat. Haas, the founder of the NASCAR team, seemed inclined to follow Stewart's talent assessment, and it became official Wednesday when Preece was given the seat. Custer will stay at Stewart Haas Racing, but he'll move down to the second-tier Xfinity Series.
Ooh.
Joe Gibbs Racing announced something that pretty much everybody knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
Xfinity Series champion Ty Gibbs will move to the NASCAR Cup Series full-time next season, taking the roster spot left open by Kyle Busch. He will bring his number 54 car number with him, so there will be no more 18, even though Joe Gibbs Racing will retain the number for possible future use.
Begs to ask, car 54, where are you?
Oh, dear Lord. That's an old reference.
That's an old reference, yeah.
NASCAR announced on Wednesday the launch of the Brazil, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, sprint race, the sanctioning body's 4th international series, joining the NASCAR Mexico series, which I didn't know existed until I was reading this article. NASCAR Pinty Series in Canada, which I did know, and the Whelen Euro Series over in Europe.
Okay.
Which they're going to have that ice race.
Oh, yeah.
Next year they had announced for the Euro Series, so that's kind of cool. Exhibition race, though, not for points. The Brazil sprint race will begin competition in 2023 and is a partnership between NASCAR and the GT Sprint Race Series in Brazil. The World of Outlaw NASCAR Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, we kind of talked about this earlier, announced that a fire suppression system that meets the SFI 17.3 specification must be installed and functional in all race cars at all times when competing with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series starting in 2023. And you think that this is going to extend to other series like All-Stars?
Oh, I believe so.
Okay.
You know, especially
I haven't seen any official
especially with
announcements.
the guys
There's a lot of crossover
crossing
between
over. Absolutely.
series too. So yeah, and Jimmy McCune, he would have definitely benefited from a system like that.
He will definitely have something in
will.
his car. And updated fuel lines, going from braided lines to Kevlar lines, which supposedly are more durable and less susceptible to rupturing. So,
And we have a Hammer Down hotline text about this thing. We'll talk
Really?
about it a little bit later too. Yeah,
okay.
very exciting stuff. The 30th running of the South Carolina 400 will take the green flag this Saturday night at Florence Motor Speedway, and the entry list features more than 50 drivers who will be vying for a starting position in the event that continues the legendary history of the Myrtle Beach 400 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. That list includes Dale Jr.,
What kind of cars are going to be racing?
late models,
Okay.
the Temple Body late models.
Okay.
So, and just FYI, tonight's How Many kind of has something to do with that.
Really?
Yep. And finally, Sandusky Speedway is looking for an announcer for 2023.
What happened to Mark?
That's exactly what I said.
Wait.
This is all the information I have. They have a post they just made, I want to say it was about a little bit after 6 tonight on their Facebook page that they're looking for an announcer for 2023. And if you're interested, call or text Kevin Jaycox at 440-213-7013. And Dean had shared that with me, and
Well,
that was the first thing I said. What happened to Mark?
yeah,
So
is Mark going to be there on January 1st?
I don't know. I mean, I'm busy on Saturday nights. Otherwise, I offer to do that. But
Yeah.
maybe it might be warmer in the booth on New Year's Day. Maybe I just leave the car in the garage, and I'll announce the
I'm pretty
hangover
sure.
race.
Pretty sure you won't do that, Scott.
Are you sure? I might.
Pretty sure.
All right. Well,
We'll
anyway.
see.
There you go. So if you want to become a track announcer, call Kevin Jaycox there. Check out their Facebook post. Last week's How Many Good for a Big D's Pizza was the number on the winning super late model Saturday night at the Peach State Classic at Sonoya. Ricky Thornton Jr. Number 20 was your winner. You picked 31. I picked 32. And, of course, my guy was over in the was it the duel in the desert?
You're right.
So you were closest with the pick of 31. And our listener winner, Phil Blykamp.
Really?
He picked 17. He was our closest of our
He was
listeners.
a whole lot closer than I was.
So he has 30 days to claim his pizza. Get a hold of me or Dean Henry, or call up Big D's Pizza and claim your pizza. 30 days to claim that. After that, Dean's going to cook it and put it in the freezer for me to pick up someday. Not really, but yeah. This week's How Many for a chance to win a Big D's Pizza. What position will Dale Jr. finish in the South Carolina 400 this weekend at Myrtle Beach?
And they're starting how many cars?
I'm not sure how many are actually starting. I know there's 50 drivers that are entering,
Right,
so I'm
right.
assuming it's going to be 24, 28 to start the actual feature. So he may not even make the feature.
Right.
So, I mean, but he,
Could there be a
Probably
Dale
will.
Earnhardt provisional?
I don't know.
Ooh.
It's wide open. So if you want a chance to win a Big D's Pizza, put your guess, the finishing position, in our comments on our Facebook Live or our YouTube Live. And if you do that before, we'll say 4 o'clock on Saturday, the 17th, 18th, 19th, Eastern time, then you will be entered for that pizza from Big D's Pizza. So if you're not watching us live, you can still get in on this. Just check out our Facebook Live or
Right.
YouTube thing, enter in the comment there. Because you can do that whenever. It's pretty cool. It's neat the way that works.
I like John Deere's number.
Are you going with 5th?
I'm going with 5.
Okay. I am going to go with, I believe he's running the number 3. So I'm going to go with
4.
3.
Ooh.
Going with 3.
You're going to leave one position between
Yeah,
us.
so we could tie. If he
Oh, we
finishes
could.
4th, yes. So if Dean Henry's right, then I don't know. We don't win anything, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So, again, just put your guess in the comments, and you could win a Big D's Pizza. Find out who that winner is next week. We did have one Hammer Down hotline message this week. We had a text, but before we get to that, if you would like to call or text, leave a message. I suppose Cole Macedo's not on the phone anymore. Nobody said anything. 419-318-3081. 419-318-3081 is the Hammer Down hotline number. You can call anytime, day or night, or text.
You had to get rid of Cole's little tag on there because you didn't remember the number.
Well, yeah, it was covering up my number. I can't read that, so it's important stuff. And now I can't get it off of the screen. There we go. Text came in this week with the World of Outlaws added safety mandate of a onboard fire suppression coming for next year. Should local tracks consider updating the requirements of something more than just a fire extinguisher in the car or whatever is currently required? And I'm assuming he doesn't mean just for sprint cars. Kind of opening up for everybody. What are your thoughts? Because I know there's that whole safety versus expense conversation, and there's a fine line of how to balance that. But can you put a price on safety, though? Ask Jimmy McCune.
Don't get me going, Scott.
Oh, come on.
I think most racetracks have inadequate fire systems. Rather than requiring each team to have an $800 system, I would rather see the racetracks.
So you're saying that the tracks, they don't have sufficient equipment
Right.
to put out fires?
I'm not picking on any track. I'm picking on all tracks.
In general.
Right.
Okay. That's fair. And then do you think it's safe then to, or fair to say it's up to the individual racers then as to whether or not they want it to spend?
Well, yeah, they're putting the onus of... Yeah.
It's your safety, you know, how much is your life?
Exactly.
How much do you not want to get burned? Can't put a number on safety. Well, we will never have a how many that includes safety then. There is no price too high for safety. So, yeah. I mean, I don't have a fire suppression thing in my car, but...
Right. And you probably don't even have a fire extinguisher, which is...
I do.
Do you?
I do. It's the rules.
Yeah. Well, and I think having a fire extinguisher is really unsafe because most guys just...
Yeah, I'm not going to put out the fire if there's a fire in my car. I'm just getting out.
You're throwing the fire extinguisher at the fire and running like crazy.
So good question there on our Hammer Down hotline. Again, if you want to throw us a question or subject or something to discuss, 419-318-3081.
Yeah, Dean, that $650, that's for the sprint car version. The late models have a 10-pound bottle with a couple of discharge points, so they're $200, maybe $300 more than that.
Now, is that something that racers can install themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's not a hard thing to install.
Right.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Is that something I would be able to install myself?
Hey, you put a grease seal in your rear end. That was way above your pay grade.
Okay.
So, yeah, you could definitely...
I had some coaching, though. So
you could definitely put a suppression system in.
Would I need coaching, though? Would I be calling you up, hey, Ron, where does this thing go?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Call Ron Miller Race Cars for safety equipment and advice on how to put it in your race car. It would make a great Christmas gift.
It would.
Thanks to associate producer Dave Kimmer. He really helped me out this week. Like I said, I had no internet. My internet died Monday night, and they originally said they couldn't get somebody out here until Saturday.
Ooh.
But I know somebody who works at the cable system.
That helps.
That did help immensely.
Thank you, Miss Robin.
Yes, thank you to my crew chief for got somebody out here yesterday, and then it went down again last night. But apparently there was a area-wide issue. It wasn't my modem that died. So I think everything worked. I didn't see anybody complaining about our stream tonight. So
no, and we've got people that have responded, so they must be listening.
Absolutely. Again, don't forget, we'd like your feedback. go to hammerdownracingreport.com/feedback. As far as feedback on the show,
let
parts
us know,
of the show you like, parts you don't like. Yeah.
What do you like? What do you hate? What do you want us to do away with?
And if you have ideas for new things,
new features,
let us
we're
know.
Always up for that.
Yeah, kind of want to get a feel on what people like and what people don't like about the show, and so we can make it better. But we need your help for that. So
that's it.
And if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, you can always check out hammerdownracingreport.com and click on the sponsor tab there, and or just click on our Amazon wish list at hammerdownracingreport.com. There's a little button that says Amazon wish list.
There, really?
Yeah, I made that, and
That's
I made
impressive.
the wish list too. Help us out with some studio equipment. We're doing a studio upgrade here. Hope to have everything kind of in place by the beginning of next year. You can see we've moved around, or you may have noticed, or maybe you
beginning
didn't.
of next year is not that far away.
I know.
Dude.
I know. So you click on that. There's a wish list. You can buy stuff. It'll be shipped here. We'll have you as a studio sponsor all of next year. You don't have to buy the expensive stuff. You can get something cheap. That's fine. But you might want to hurry because there's not that much. I think there's only like 5-6 items on there.
Ooh.
So most of the stuff
And
I was able to cobble together on my own here.
And one of the cameras will be pointed right at your name.
Oh, yeah. If you spend more than $100, we'll put your name, like, maybe right here on the wall, or maybe right beside Ron's left arm.
We'll get rid of those 8S perfect attendance things.
Oh, wow, you can see those. Wow.
They can move somewhere
I told
else.
you could bring over some of your own memorabilia
and
for your corner.
I'll bring something.
Okay. So there you go. That's hammerdownracerreport.com. All kinds of stuff going on there. Next week, we are off. No show. It is Turkey Day. So we hope that everybody has a good Turkey Day.
Yours truly will be frying a turkey and baking a ham. Ooh, baby. I look forward to that.
So you hear that, everybody? It's Thanksgiving dinner at Ron's.
There's always room for more.
We will be back in 2 weeks with our Oakshade Raceway Champion Show.
Well, and that's just before their
The banquet. Yeah.
How coincidental.
And then we're going to do Toledo Speedway Champions, I believe. And then it's Fremont Champions, and then a Sandusky Speedway Champions. At least that's what we have tentatively scheduled.
Okay.
And this Sandusky Champion Show will probably be our last one of the year. It'll also be a preview for the Hangover Race.
Yes, John Deere, a deep-fried turkey, and it will be injected and brined.
Okay, then. I wish I didn't have plans for 2 meals on Thanksgiving already.
I can bring leftovers.
Thanks again to Dave Kemmer and contributors Matt Swander, John Young, Doug Dock, Bob Stazak. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube, listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And again, hammerdownracerreport.com/feedback for feedback on the show. Or just go to hammerdownracerreport.com and click on that wish list for us. Thanks to our existing sponsors, Big D's Pizza, Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Dominator Race Products, Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon. Thanks again to this week's guests as well, Cole Macedo, Devin Shiels, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, we will.
Thursday, I don't even have a calendar. I think it's December 1st.
Could be.
Is that right? Whatever the Thursday is after Thanksgiving, that's when we'll be back. So, till then, have a great holiday, and we'll see you with the Oakshade Raceway Champions in a couple weeks. We're out.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.